Hello everyone and welcome back to another True Unscripted Puro video. Today we have another episode of the Rising Sun Renaissance, as tonight we have night 4 of the G1 Climax. Tonight is A block action as you have Yota Tsuji taking on SANADA, Konosuke Takeshita taking on Yuto-Ice, Oleg Boltin taking on Shingo Takagi, Hirooki Goto taking on Jake Lee, and Great Khan taking on Ryuei Oiwa. The only note I have from in between episodes, if you remember last episode, Jacob Austin Young suffered a workable injury that would have taken 1 month to recover. Since he's not really needed for this tour, I decided to just give him the month off. And so he's now been given 1 month off to fully recover from his injuries. And taking his place for the rest of the tour, hopefully, is Francesco Akira. I mean, I have nothing else for Akira to do this tour, so he'll just do tag matches. But time to prepare for tonight. Select venue location. We are going to Hoku. And we are going to the Sendai Sun Plaza. Yes, locker room incidents. Head Manchino Junji Hirata ran pre-show training drills to work on basics and safety for 5 students. And that is all. Let's team bond. And nothing noteworthy came from it. Okay. Oh, God. Oh, okay. Yeah, so our only absent worker is Jacob Austin Young, who we gave time off to. I was so worried. One of our wrestlers had been booked for something else, but no, we're good. I'm gonna get on to booking night 4 of the G1 Climax, and I'll be right back. And on to night 4 of the G1 Climax. We start the show off with a decent match as Hinori and Francesco Akira defeat Oscar and Taiji Shimori in a decent match when Hinori pinned Taiji Shimori following a spinning spinebuster. 63 rating. Love to see it. Oscar carried the match in terms of in-ring performance. Hinori and Francesco Akira were really off their game here. The injury that Hinori worked through took a big toll on him. Not surprised. Hinori did a 45, Oscar with a 62. Not too bad. Afterwards, in your next match, Gabe Kidd and Daniel Garcia of the Death Riders defeat Aaron Wolf and Tatsuya Matsumoto in a decent match when Daniel Garcia submitted Tatsuya Matsumoto with a sharpshooter. Tatsuya Matsumoto was the weak link, doing a 20 and also seemed off his game here. Daniel Garcia obviously making his debut here. Debuted his Red Death gimmick, got initial rating of poor. He's kind of just an extra here. I'm gonna be real. Gives him a lot of penalties. Okay. On to your next preliminary tag match as Ren Narita and Dick Togo defeat Shota Umino and Taisei Nakahara in a decent match. 61 rating. Nakahara, obviously the weak link, doing a 27. Wow. Doing better than Tatsuya Matsumoto, who's been here for a year. Wow. But on to your next match as Drilla Molyneux and Daiki Nagai defeat Yuya Yamura and Masatori Yasuda in a decent match. Yuya Yamura was head and shoulders above everyone else, although he seemed off his game here, which is kind of funny. Daiki Nagai doing a 44, Yasuda doing a 35. Not bad from both, especially Nagai. He did really good. And then on to your last preliminary tag match as Saxon Jr. and Fuminori Abe defeat Callum Newman and Zane J. Saxon Jr. and Callum Newman did really good here. So did Fuminori Abe, all of them in the 60s, near 70s. Zane J did a 31. Obviously, he's kind of a young lion. He's not really, but at the same time, he kind of is. I don't know. 71 rating. Love to see it. But on to block action, as in your first block match of the night, Great-O-Khan defeats Relay Oiwa in a decent wild brawl. Great-O-Khan now with 4 points. Oiwa still with 2 points. Oiwa's doing better than Zack Sabre Jr., to be fair, because Zack has no points. But both of them really need to get some points on the board if they want any chance to make it to the playoffs. But in your next match, Jake Lee defeats Hirooki Goto in a bout that had good heat and decent wrestling, 74 rating. Jake Lee now still undefeated with 6 points. Hirooki Goto still with 2 points. It's not looking good for the former IWGP Heavyweight Champion. Hopefully he can bounce back, because it's not looking good. But in your next match, Oleg Boltin defeats Shingo Takagi in a decent match, 57 rating. Boltin getting his first 2 points on the board. Takagi still with 2 points. Both of them really need to get some points now. But in your next match, Konosuke Takeshita defeats Yuto-Ice in a good wild brawl. Konosuke Takeshita getting 4 points. Yuto-Ice now no longer undefeated, but he's still sitting with 4 points, very close to the top. But in your main event for the evening, you have Yota Tsuji defeating SANADA in a bout that had good heat and decent wrestling. Yota Tsuji now with 4 points. SANADA with 0. The only person who has no points on the board. It is not looking good for him. But we finished the show with a 78 rating. Okay. Love to see it. Finished the show. Financial report, just over 55,000, and that is all. So, A block at the top of the chain, you have a Jake Lee, the only person who is undefeated with 6 points. Then with 4 points apiece, you have Konosuke Takeshita, Yota Tsuji, Yuto-Ice, and Great-O-Khan. With 2 points apiece, you have Hirooki Goto, Oleg Boltin, Shingo Takagi, and Relay Oiwa. And then at the very bottom with 0 points, you have SANADA. Looking ahead to next episode, Night 5, you have Zack Sabre Jr. taking on Callum Newman, Drilla Maloney taking on Yuya Uemura, Shota Umino taking on Ren Narita, Aaron Wolf taking on Gabe Kidd, and Henare taking on Oscar. But that's going to do it for today's episode of the Rising Sun Renaissance. I've been True Unscripted Puro, and I'll see you all next time.